Hello, making a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Fighting Cup. I actually went 12-1-1 with this team. Of course, the 1 here is then a draw, which you're most likely also going to see. I think I cut off 2 winning battles here just because I had too much footage to showcase. But this team here itself works out really well. Of course, it's a little bit tricky for some people to get the throw if you don't have one yet. It was available, I think, for everybody though. During the Go Fest, there is where I got mine from. I think that was like second day of Go Fest. I caught mine, I looked it up. I have a rank 10 with this here, which is kind of interesting. So it has like pretty high CP. It cost me 50k to build it just for this video here, so leave a like for this please, thanks. But otherwise this Pokemon is definitely worth it to build. The only Pokemon here that has a psychic type move other than Headbutt. If we ever get like a good move on throw, that would be very nice, because this Pokemon actually has a lot of potential stats wise. Also has a pretty decent moveset, just would need a better fast move to be pretty decent, so maybe someday. Maybe someday, but in this day we're going to be able to farm down the opponents here with our throw. We'll be able to farm down the Toxicroak as well, and we're just going to go to town. Very nice here. Next opponent, we will see Machamp in the lead. Very decent for us. It's actually a pretty neutral lead. Machamp is a very neutral Pokemon. If you don't have throw, I would actually recommend you Machamp. Machamp gave me the biggest struggles, to be fair, just because this Pokemon is just so attack weighted. Like, this thing just destroys me with counter damage, even though it's resisted, which is crazy. You get to the cross jump pretty fast, and so Machamp does still a ton of damage. We see the opponent coming in. I think in their own Toxicroak here. They will have to shield up this move coming in, and we see the throw coming in again and going to town. Honestly, the worst possible, like the worst Pokemon from this team was the Poliwrath. I used it, it was fine, it was pretty bulky-ish, and that got to the moves pretty fast. There was also definitely one game, I don't know if it's in there, where I think basically destroyed my opponent. But itself, this Pokemon is not the best Pokemon that I would recommend you, but this team itself, I would recommend you definitely. Here, I'm actually going to try to get the call correctly and try to catch the move, which didn't work out. We're still going to be able to resist, like survive the Aerial Ace here, which is nice. Sneasel is also a very good Pokemon to use, and we're actually going to be able to win this match out by like 3 HP or something against the opponent's Machamp. We see the opponent here having no Hitmonchan. Toxicroak is basically needed for this cup, by the way. I have a very high attack one, which is very good for the mirror, because I will be able to win this one. We will see the Poliwrath coming in. Poliwrath is my best Poliwrath answer, because this one will be able to resist Scald. Usually they don't run the move Dynamic Punch on this Pokemon, because Dynamic Punch is resisted by the Toxicroak. So you usually run the moveset that you see on the screen here with Scald and Ice Punch. We will be able to go ahead and take one move there. We will get them down to 0 shields, which is kind of cool. We can go for one charge move here. Mud Bomb coming through will knock them out, and now we have 2 shields advantage here. We can, of course, invest some shields into our Toxicroak. Let's see what they're going to have on the back here. And it's going to be their own Toxicroak, which is very decent, as this Mud Bomb is going to get them pretty low. We can go for 2 fast moves with our throw, and throw going to throw them off guard. We'll be able to farm them down, and even the Hitmonchan here has a 0 play against me. Throw is also one of the very bulkiest Pokemon in this meta, which is very nice. So yeah, if you want to get your sets done fast, I think this is a very cool cup if you have the Pokemon. If you don't have the Pokemon, don't run this cup. I have basically the perfect Pokemon for this cup available. But I won't make any more videos about it, I think, unless there are some cool gameplay that gets sent from you. If you have some cool gameplay for me to showcase on the channel, there's always the link in the description where you can submit your battles. But unless this happens, I don't think I'm going to make my own videos about it anymore. But I will, of course, do more videos about the Great League. Tomorrow, there's most likely going to be one of my favorite teams for the Great League available right now, which is based around Trevenant, because Trevenant seems to be pretty lame currently with the new update there of Noctowl. But this team really supports Trevenant super well, and you're going to see it tomorrow. Can't wait for that. We will be able to go ahead and go for one Ice Punch against the opponent's Phalanx here. I didn't expect that this would KO, which is at least like something that the Poliwrath did well. Actually, Poliwrath going to be able to sweep this endgame there. I was really scared that I would lose this game because of the Phalanx, but I actually was able to still win because of my Poliwrath. Very cool there. Next opponent, Combusken, one of the Pokemon that learns the move Peck, which is super effective, of course. It does a ton of damage. Very expensive to build, though, Combusken. I think you need like level 40, level 50 or something like this. So, very, very expensive Pokemon to build. If you can build it, I think it's a good one. Like, I think it's a really good Pokemon to build. But if you don't, like, if you cannot build it, like, why would you bother trying to build a Pokemon like this one for a cup that's available for 1 week and afterwards it's going to be basically pretty useless. We will go ahead and we will be able to farm down with my Toxicroak, but not without shielding once at least. Scald coming through, does it debuff us? It does not, which is nice. Combusken is coming in. I think I can take one move. It's going to be the Flame Charge here. And I will be able to go for another Mud Bomb. They're going to get me very, very low here right now already. I can go ahead and go into my throw now. I can hopefully farm them down in time before they get to another move, but sadly not. They just barely get there in time, and we will see the Flame Charge coming through here. Opponent has a Toxicroak in the back, and I think this looks like the loss that I had, which was actually then against Combusken, which is funny. But actually, maybe not. Do they go for one Sludge Bomb here? They do not. I have no idea why, but they only go for the Mud Bomb. I think they had the Sludge Bomb stored already, but they decided not to do this, which is fine by me. What I do against Poliwrath in the lead, I go for a 6 fast move and then swap out. Didn't work out here, but usually it works out pretty well. We see the opponent's Toxicroak coming in, trying to catch a move, which didn't work out that well for them. They're going to catch the Ice Punch now, and now they can get hit by the Scald. I don't need to shield the Mud Bomb, I still survived this one. Scald is coming through. Does this knock out the opponent? Do they shield twice? They're going to let this move go through and we knock each other out at the same time. Iffy scenario here now, I'm gonna go into my Toxicroak. I will be able to go for some counter damage, and I will be able to go for one Mud Bomb soon, but they're actually going to get to another charge move here, which is going to be an Ice Punch. I can try to farm them all the way down, but I have to catch another move on my throw. I have 2 moves stored now on my Toxicroak, and we see a Sneasel coming in. This Sneasel will not be able to farm me down for too long. They basically got the perfect farm there, but it's not going to be enough to beat my Toxicroak, as I will be able to go for 2 Mud Bombs in time. This should knock out the opponent after the second one there, because they always still had a shield left. But now, of course, the Mud Bomb going to do enough damage to knock them out. We see the Poliwrath fainting as well, and this is going to be a good game. Next opponent, we will see Farfetch'd in the lead. Interesting one here. Pretty neutral. They win the 0 shields against you here though, which is kind of awkward. In hindsight, I should have most likely not thrown this charge move at all. Like, I think I should just overfarm, because they're going to get to the Brave Bird anyway. It doesn't really help me too much to throw it there. Just now I have like 1 shield less than my opponent, but I have like a fast move advantage, so I think it's not the worst. And I will also be able to catch the move here with my Poliwrath against them. I'm going to go ahead and can go for one Ice Punch now. I should still be able to survive one, and I think I still get to my Ice Punch in time, and I will be able to get to my Ice Punch, but they're swapped out into which Pokemon here? It's going to be their own Sneasel. I can go ahead and go for one charge move here. I just want to get rid of the final shield, which I do with this one here. I get them low enough that I can just let this move go through, go into my throw, farm them all the way down, and this should be a very good game here, as we do enough damage with our throw anyway, and the Toxicroak is going down as well to 1 more Body Slam. Look at him go, look at him go. He's going to go for the Body Slam, and it's going to win us the game. Next opponent, Toxicroak against Primeape. It's a pretty neutral matchup here, to be fair. This Toxicroak has to shield something, but I think it's going to be the Ice Punch. I thought if I could maybe farm him down here, but I don't think I can, so I'm going to go for a Mud Bomb. They're going to basically get a shield advantage here, but I get switch, and we see another Toxicroak coming in here, which will not want to take this Mud Bomb. I get my shield back, and I can swap it immediately into my Poliwrath. This was too fast for a Sludge Bomb, to be fair. I'm still going to shield, because I guess I'm a little bit sleepy. It's very late already. I still have kind of jet lag from just traveling, but I will be able to go for one Scald here still. This should knock out the opponent's Machamp, and it will, so I can realign, and they have now a Toxicroak aligned against my Toxicroak. This forces them to throw some energy against me, going to be a Mud Bomb, and now of course we have our throw, which will going to be able to farm them all the way down here, so it's going to be a good game. Next game, let's see what you're going to get here. We're going to get the Toxicroak against Poliwrath. Fine for us, kinda. Again, we're gonna go for 6 fast moves, and we're going to be able to swap out hopefully perfectly into our Poliwrath, which works out really well all the time, basically. Scald is coming through, doesn't do a ton of damage, and we see a throw, but this throw has a weird fast move. Is it low kick? I don't think it's a really good fast move as far as I know. Don't know how much energy this generates. I honestly have zero idea what this move even does to me. But what we can go is for one, like we can go for an Ice Punch here. This Ice Punch will get the shield from the opponent, so we're even again. I could let this move go through, I could shield, but I'm going to let this move go through in general. I'm going to go into my Toxic Rogue again, and I try to farm them down, which works out pretty well. Have a ton of energy, the Poliwrath coming back in here. I can go ahead and go for one Sludge Bomb now. This will get them very low as well, and I can farm them down with Throw as they go into their Toxic Rogue against me, which doesn't really matter too much. I should let this move go through. I'm going to shield again for whatever reason. I'm playing horrible here. This was a clear Mud Bomb, which was unnecessary to risk it like this, but still going to be able to go for another charge move. I like get to for the farm down here anyway, and we will be able to win this game, which is going to be very nice. Next opponent, we see Toxic Rogue against us. We will be able to go ahead and go for the Mud Bomb here. We actually lose CMP, which I didn't expect, so the opponent has a higher attack version than me, and you see my attack on the right side. My attack version was already really high, so I'm very surprised about this, but I can still catch the move on my my Poliwrath here. I will be able to go for my next move in time, as they're gonna go ahead and go into a Primeape. I was hoping that this is Night Slash, but they actually run Cross Chop, which is a legacy move on this Pokemon. So I was kind of surprised that I would see this here, but I will be able to go for one Sludge Bomb, knock them straight out, and I will be able to get to another move here, hopefully, but nope. This is going to be the only battle that I'm going to lose here, sadly, because I'm like a few moves behind on energy with my throw battle here, and they've basically the same team that I had there, and there is not a lot that I can do about this one now. Body Slam going to get the shield from them, but of course there's no lot that I can do here. The opponent's lead, the Toxic Rogue, is still a little bit too low that I cannot farm them down. And yeah, I'm just gonna go for the Body Slam, but there is no lot that I can do here. They can just farm me all the way down. And this is going to be my only loss with this team. There was not a lot else that really went wrong with it. We see the Toxic Rogue against us again here. We should be able to win CMP. They don't even go for the CMP. They go for the extra fast move, which doesn't really matter to us. We will be able to go ahead and go for the next move as well. They actually definitely have better. Do they have better stats? I think they have a little bit better stats because I have less HP than them, but I will be able to win CMP now, which is nice. I can go ahead and go for one Mud Bomb. This Mud Bomb will get the shield, and I can go for another one, but they're actually going to throw in their Throw, which allows me to go for one Sludge Bomb, which is even better, as this will allow me to go into my own Throw now. I got them very low. I can farm them all the way down now without even throwing my charge move. Body Slam is coming through, not the biggest deal. I'm just going to farm them all the way down here. And we will see the opponent coming back into their Toxic Rogue, which is going to go down now. I think I might have been able to farm down. I'm not sure if they had a boost out, but we see the Machamp coming in. We can go for one Body Slam. I need to get them a little bit lower here. So one Ice Punch will already be enough to knock them out. And at this stage, it's definitely going to be enough. And it's also definitely not going to be enough to go for one Cross Chop here to knock me out. If they had close combat, it would have been definitely a loss here for me, but like this, one Ice Punch will be enough to knock them out, and it's going to be a good game. Next opponent, we will see Toxic Rogue against Toxic Rogue, which was kind of nice for us, but we're actually going to swap out immediately, trying to bait out whatever they have in the bag, I guess. We will be able to go for one Scald, and we're gonna get a shield advantage here, which we're going to take here as well, letting this next move go through, and I can go ahead and go into my Toxic Rogue again, trying to get some extra energy here. Especially in this matchup, you kind of want to get some energy. And I'm going to get to one more charge move here, which will knock out the opponent. They will not shield, of course, because they don't want to get two shields down. I can still get to a Mud Bomb against them, which allows me now to have a perfect scenario for my throw. I will be able to just throw in some charge move, some shields here against their charge moves, which allows me to go for some Body Slams as well later on. I can no-shield this one from them. It's going to be a Mud Bomb, and I can go ahead and go for another Body Slam. This should be able to knock them out, and we will see the Machamp coming back in, and this is going to be the tie that I had. If I just shielded anything, I would have been fine. I had tie with a shield left, which basically means I screwed up somewhere. Should have shielded like one of the Mud Bomb or whatever, would have been definitely better, but yeah, I thought it would have been not that close there at the end, but it's okay. We see a Sneasel coming in, we're going to get the Scald off here, and we're gonna see a Sneasel going back out again, expecting me to bait, but I don't bait here. I will be able to just knock them straight out, and we see the Poliwrath coming back in here, which is fine for us. We can let this move go through. We can still survive this with 1 HP in a dream. IV is meta, I guess, as we will be able to go for 1 Scald, get the debuff, and get them low enough that I can farm them all the way down with Throw, which also going to have access to Body Slam, of course, now, which will do a ton of damage, especially already with a fast move here against the opponent's Toxic Rogue. I'm actually going to be able to catch here the Sludge Bomb on my main Toxic Rogue, which is really cool. Get to my own charge move, which will be able to do a ton of damage if it would go unshielded, but of course they're going to use their shields now, but they have to use their final shield here anyway now, as we're going to be able to hit now 1 Body Slam, and I will be able to win this game. So yeah, Fighting Cup actually was a lot of fun for me to play. It's just the same Pokemon all the time, but still had a great success with this, basically 12 or 1-1, so very nice record as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on it, and I hope I see you on the next one. Bye!